same damn place, it's a carnival.
I think I'm gonna put some moonshine in some squirt.
I'm gonna put some moonshine in some squirt.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of The Carnival. I am your host, BKEN. As always, Jeffrey Johnson is here as your co-host. We want to give a quick special thanks and a shout out to the One Note Hope Foundation for making all of this possible for us. Jeffrey and I are the operators of the One Note Hope Foundation, and we donate money to music programs for schools all around the country. It's a great cause. Make sure to check out onenotehope.org. We'll leave a link in the description. We just want to say thank you guys so much for joining us today. We have a pretty special show planned out today. I've been thinking about this one for a little while, so I decided that I was going to do a top 10 list for the reasons that you need a Jeff. That list got cut down to 5 reasons because I couldn't think of another 5. There's only about 5 reasons I'm actually friends with this guy. So that's not true. There's a million. But I broke it down to the top 5, and we're going to go over that here in just a little while. With that said, we want to give a special thank you to a local band here in Oklahoma City. Some very good friends of mine, a band called A Dying Art. I'm actually wearing one of their shirts today. You can check them out on facebook.com/A Dying Art. That's where you can find them. They actually have a couple shows coming up here in February. February 1st, they're going to be playing at 89th Street Collective at 6 p.m. That's going to be an amazing show. You can check it out on their Facebook for ticket information and all that good stuff. They're also going to be playing February 8th at City Limits. They're going to be playing at 7 o'clock. So you guys need to go check those guys out. They're really close friends of mine. They've been in the local scene for a very long time. Wonderful, wonderful musicians. And you guys will absolutely be treated to a wonderful evening. And they're like the nicest people in the world. So go check them out. A Dying Art. We'll put a link in the description for facebook.com/A Dying Art. Go make sure you check those guys out. With that said, Jeffrey and I got into a conversation, I don't know, what was it, 2 or 3 days ago, about roots. And the reason for it was because in the last podcast, we were talking about how the name of the band came about, how BAILEYCOURT came about and how just certain things happened the way that they did. And so we actually elaborated on that conversation, and we decided that we were going to talk about that a little bit today. I know in the last podcast, you heard Jeff tell a story about how, we kind of took over a band. We wanted to elaborate on that a little bit. So I'm actually going to let Jeff tell part of that story for you because it's a wonderful story. Our friendship wouldn't be what it is today without stories like this. So we absolutely wanted to share that with you guys. So Jeff, why don't you tell everybody how that happened? How did we join a band and then take it over?
Well, to preface, that was the first time I ever played with anybody was this. And so I wouldn't call myself a guitarist. I would call myself a guy that got a guitar for Christmas. A kid. Right.
And I think I had gotten a drum kit the same time.
Yeah. So we were just kind of just starting out. Couldn't really drive anywhere, couldn't do anything. But we wanted to start a band. And this guy that we used to go to school with, he kind of came to us, was like, hey, you can play drums, Brandon. He's like, oh, Jeff, you can play guitar. I was like, well, I got a guitar. Let's try it. And I think I knew about 4 power chords. And then
was it that many? Was it that many? Because I think you only played like 2 or 3.
I think I just ripped off Nirvana songs and I rearranged the chords is what it was. And then, but had a little practice amp and you had a little kit and we didn't have a place to play and his grandma had a shed, like a literal shed that you just open the damn doors, and walk in. It was cold as hell. We started playing. It was winter time-ish.
It was December. Yeah. It was in December. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to reiterate the shed, it was just a basic tin shed is all that it was. I mean, it
like
had
you put rakes and shit in.
Yeah. It had like this much insulation on the inside of the tin, I think to keep the gas from freezing in the lawnmowers is what it was for. Cause Oklahoma winters are so brutal sometimes. But, I mean, that's literally where we started playing was in this shed. The very first time Jeffrey and I ever played a note together was in this shed. Yep. And it was a pretty surreal experience. That had to have been, what, 97?
It was a long time ago.
97, 98. I mean, December 97 sounds right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah, it has to be because I moved to Little Axe in February of 97. And we immediately started playing the next school year. So I finished out the school year in 97. We started school again in 97. And that's whenever the other guy came to us and was like, hey, man, you go over Christmas, blah, 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 blah. And so that's how that worked. So, yeah, it had to have been December 97, January 98 when we actually first played a note together.
Before Linkin Park? Before Linkin Park even released their first album.
Well, they were. I don't even know if they were a band at that point because they started out as a band called Zero.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was just Mike and Joe in the band at that time, and then they found Chester. So that's how that band started, and the name of the band was Zero at first.
Yeah, so we've been around a long time. Yeah. Well, anyways, I guess what it comes down to it is I hated Metallica. I've always not been a Metallica fan. I'll listen to it, but I don't like them. But the guy that brought us together, all he wanted to do was play damn Metallica songs.
Right. And and it was crazy at the time because I was a Metallica fan.
Yeah, you were always been, yeah. So
and I find it crazy because earlier you mentioned the band that you know that and I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, and I already know that, and I'm okay with it because I have my whole life. Can't stand Nirvana. I'm sorry. Trash. I love what they did for music. I love what they represented, and I loved how that whole Seattle scene came to be because of this one band. I absolutely respect them for that, but their music, trash. Garbage. Yeah. And I know you can relate to that because I know you get a lot of shit for not liking Metallica.
Yeah, I've just never been I think once Metallica tried to sue me for Napster in one of their songs, that's when I was pissed.
So it has nothing to do with music for you. It's pride.
No, yeah, I grew up a Maiden fan, so you had to pick one.
That's probably difficult as well because I know your dad really well, and I always know he would be the first one to be like, Metallica's okay, but
no, they're no Maiden. Yep. So yeah, we ended up asking him to leave of some sort. I don't know.
No, I don't think we asked. I think did we know about three-way calling at that time? Because I remember walking around with my grandma. I lived at my grandma's at the time, and I remember walking around with my grandma's phone, like planted to my, and it had like the 40-foot cord,
right,
from like the bottom all the way to the wall. So I remember walking around talking to you like all over the house with that thing, like in my bedroom, had the door closed and the cord's all tight, and yeah, I remember that crap. Did we even have three-way calling?
I don't know, but
did me and you decide, and then we went to school the next day and said, Joe, we're practicing tonight, but you're not.
That's probably most likely what it was. And unfortunately, I think we just lost all of Generation Z that's going to watch this thing or listen to it because they have no idea what the hell we're talking about with the cord that's tied to your phone. So, yeah, back in the day.
Google it, kids. It's out there.
Yeah, Google it. Back in the day, you had to fucking go to the library and pull out what is a phone out of the little drawers. I don't remember what the hell they're called. The Dewey Decimal System or something. So, but yeah.
The Dewey Decimal System, yes.
Yeah, so that's
was the original Google.
Yep. And that was the original band. So, and it just evolved from there. We met some great people, even in high school, and then played some shows.
Yeah, shortly thereafter, we met Mike. Right after that, like I think you and I had. I know we had written Unforgiven.
Yeah.
At that time, which by the way is on the BAILEYCOURT album now, so that shows you guys how far back that song goes.
Yeah.
But we had written Unforgiven. It wasn't done, obviously, but we had written it, and then we met Mike. How did we meet Mike?
We were at the little guitar store, Hastings, the one up there in the city, and I was playing the riff, and he played the lead over the top.
Norman Music.
Norman Music, okay, yeah. And then he kind of played a little lead over the top of it. We're like, hey, you're our friend now. You're in the band.
That's right, because we were playing Unforgiven. I was on one of their little kits, and you had their guitar out, and we were playing it. He just comes in with this lead part. I remember that now.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a good time. That was a great day because we left that place feeling like rock stars, bro. Like, I remember that. We were just like, oh, man, the band's complete now. So we're fucking amazing and we're awesome and raw. We had these huge egos. It was awesome.
Yep. And then we brought Brett in, to play bass. And
dude, I forgot Brett ever played bass.
Yep. So he played bass for us. And then we were all working, flipping cheeseburgers and met Joey. And and then we hit the
working at Little Axe Cafe when we met Joey.
Yep. And then we met Joey. And then after a couple months, we went in the studio and recorded that EP. And it's still alive. Those tracks still exist.
It's still a great EP too. It is. I mean, you remember in Fan Wagon how at the end of it you can hear my kick drum pedal?
Yeah.
Ross was going to take that out, but I was like, no, you're leaving that. It's that song perfect. So we just left it. It's just something stupid we did. We were kids. We weren't even adults whenever we put that together.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those songs is on the BAILEYCOURT album.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that song survived. What's even crazier is that was not recorded like modern music is recorded. I don't think it wasn't purely tape. It was DAW-ish, but nothing like what we have today. So he did a good job putting it together for us for being a bunch of kids.
Yeah. But we were sloppy though. Remember how we didn't even use a click?
Yeah, you didn't need a click back then.
It
was real music.
Bullshit. It wasn't that we didn't need a click. It was that you couldn't use a click.
I'm going to put some moonshine and some squirt.
Mike couldn't spell click.
I had grown up, but at that time, man, when I was playing drums at that time, I had been playing drums for 5 years. Like I had been in band and studying drums and drum music, and you know what I mean? So I had been using clicks and metronomes for 5 years whenever I met you. And and so for me it was nothing. Like it was just like whatever, I could do it. But I couldn't play to one because every time I tried to play to one, nobody could stay at that exact pace because everybody wanted to speed up. So I had to actually we had to sit in the room and play it together when we recorded that because you couldn't do it.
But
Mike couldn't do it.
But I will say, us doing it that way, I think the song came out so much more authentic because we could see each other, we could play each other. I mean,
but that's one thing you and I have always had though. Anytime we've ever shared the stage together, we can look at each other and we just know what's being said between the two of us. I mean, that's just something that's come. But we've played hundreds and hundreds of shows together.
lots of fun ones.
Yeah, lots of fun ones.
Yeah, you can go see the talent show. It's on YouTube
too, though.
Yep. It was fun, but so it's kind of how the first two bands existed. So
yeah, and then that evolved into Stereotyped Youth.
Yeah,
we were Placid Storm first. Remember that? I came across that word placid, and I had never.
You only heard of Placid.
Well, actually, that's the truth. Is I was watching Placid Lake.
Yeah, so I remember the movie.
Yeah, and that's actually I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? So I looked it up and I was like, oh, calm. I was like, well, you can have like a placid storm, and that's because it's kind of like two different things. It's like yin and yang. And I was like, hey, it's a really cool name for a band, and it was horrible. It was a horrible name. So was Stereotyped Youth. Who came up with that one?
Mike did, because remember he was Iranian.
Yeah.
And his parents were very, traditional.
Right.
And they didn't like rock and roll. We were playing rock and roll and they heard our music. They're like, no. Like, that's the devil's music. And he's like, why the hell are you stereotyping? It's just because we're kids. And it kind of came together as Stereotyped Youth.
That's right. I remember that story now. Oh, I remember that whole thing when he went through that whole entire deal with his parents. That was crazy because you and I were, redneck kids from Oklahoma. Yep. Our parents drank beer and partied on the weekends. Like they were just normal freaking people to us. And I guess to some cultures it's strange though,
Hey, not to plug something that's not mine, but if you get a chance, go find Heavy Metal in Baghdad. It's a documentary about a heavy metal band in Baghdad. And you'll see how nice heavy metal musicians have it in America compared to the rest of the world. So go watch that movie, Heavy Metal in Baghdad. It's probably on Netflix.
I think I've heard something, or I might have seen parts of that.
Like they get shut down, they get shot at, they get death threats just for wanting to play heavy metal. So
that's insane. Sounds like, you know, metal in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of metal, you're having 70s, one, I'll have another as well.
Yep. Speaking of metal in the 70s.
Sorry that I have to keep, you know, this down. I can't be.
Yeah. Old Slayer just retired, unfortunately. Never got to see them live, but
hey, you can still go see Motley Crue.
Yeah. I'm good.
Did you see that video of Vince Neil trying to sing?
Yep.
Oh my God. Oh, by the way, I will plug this because, like we said earlier, I am a Metallica fan. This is my Kill 'Em All shot glass. So
kill all the shots.
Kind of a pretty big Metallica fan, actually. That was the first metal band that I heard as a human.
Yeah.
Because Ride the Lightning came out the year I was born in '84. Mm-hmm. So, and that's, by the way, also my favorite album. Just so everybody knows. You ever wanted to know something about BKEN? There you go.
I went to an Iron Maiden concert at -1 months old. And from what I was told, I was headbanging the whole time. So
that explains a lot.
Yeah, that explains a lot about my dad. That's like, hey, I'm sorry you're pregnant, but we're going to see Iron Maiden.
Yeah. Sorry, it's going to hurt the whole night, but you're standing for 9 hours to do this. We're doing it.
Yeah, but and then I got videos of me before I could talk with headphones on my head, jamming out. Probably to a record if I had to make a guess. I don't know.
I don't know when I got my first drum kit, but it was one of those, like, now it would be like the first act drum kit that you can buy at Toys R Us or Walmart. Well, not Toys R Us, they're out of business, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, it would have been the equivalent of one of those, but I got one that was at like 3 years old. And within probably the first 2 weeks, they took it away from me. They were like,
that was a mistake.
Yeah, that was not a good idea. And then once I got older and started singing and started becoming a vocalist and started learning music and started taking lessons and actually learning what I was doing, my parents bought me a full Pearl custom kit at 15 years. That was my 15th birthday. And it was really cool how they did it too. Here's a story for you. So it's story time. But here's a good story for you. So my dad has always done things like in a real clever way. Whenever he was doing something big, he would do it real clever. It's just kind of his thing. And so he gave me my birthday card. And inside my birthday card, it said, we're going to do like a treasure hunt for your birthday. All your presents are going to be laid out in this treasure hunt, and you have to go find them. But I'm going to give you clues because that's not fair. I was like, all right. So he writes it all in like poems, you know, and it's all got like this. So I'll tell you one that I remember extremely well. So one of them was like, the maple's pretty, go to the treehouse, right? So I'd go up to our treehouse, and there'd be another note up there, and it would say like, you know, for your birthday, we wanted to do something special. We wanted to show you how good of a person you are and give you a symbol that sticks. Stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
That's
like,
clever.
You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that. I know I've had a lot of bass in my voice in the past, but that's okay because sometimes you just got to beat it out. You know what I mean? Like just stuff like that. Just little, that sounded really bad. That's not one of them, but just, you know, little cool little things like that. And finally, and so what he was doing was he sent me on this goose chase around my yard for about 15 to 20 minutes while they actually set up the drum kit in the house.
Well, trying to get you all tired, so you only want to play it for 5 minutes.
No, I played it for like 4 hours immediately. But the point was that it was just really cool how my parents did that. And I always thought that was a good story and just something I've always remembered that. And I just thought that was really cool. Because I was 15 years old when they bought me my very first full drum kit. And you and I have made a ton of music on that drum kit because I remember we were so excited. We were playing on that beat up piece of crap for like 3 years, just replacing the heads left and right. And just and it was horrible.
Cymbals were cracked.
And then I decided to use those as head sticks, those ones that just destroyed cymbals. They were a good concept. They never broke, but they would break everything else on your kit.
It's a great idea to use metal sticks against metal cymbals, you know?
Yeah, Lars thought so, apparently.
Yeah. Well, he made $15 off you.
You're not wrong. No, that's per pop, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
And I used those sticks for a long time. Like I probably used those sticks for 5 years.
Oh,
I loved the weight, like the balance was so perfect though, but they were machine done. So
yeah, that's true. That is true. Well, yeah. So that's the story of getting us out of Oklahoma as a band. So
yeah. And then, of course, the Marine Corps happened for you.
Yeah.
I came back to Oklahoma and immediately met THOMASGREEN, and that started Ghosts with Guns. That started a whole different avenue of music in my life. And then you and I reconnected in 2006, which is when I moved to Yuma, and that's when Formula 44 started. And that, my friend, was
that'll probably be its own podcast, because that'll be a how not to be a band podcast.
You know what? We will bring it back, but I will say this about that project. That was the biggest learning experience of my entire life.
Yep.
That was, man alive. That was some brutal times, man. Some brutal times.
Still talk to everybody, so make good friends. But yeah, we'll have to do a whole episode on just why what we did does not work. So
that could be a whole episode.
Don't think Motley Crue's The Dirt is the way to become famous. That shit don't work.
Jeffrey, why don't you tell everybody what you're drinking? I'm gonna put some moonshine and some squirt.
I'm gonna put some moonshine and some squirt.
Oh my fucking God.
All right, so yeah, I mean, when it comes to Formula 44, that's actually the project that caused the disconnect that we mentioned in the first podcast. Like we said before, Jeff and I, it put Jeff and I both in some really, bad places in our lives, and we didn't talk for a long time. And then when we reconnected, we came back full force, heavy. We do this every day. We talk every day. We work on music every single day. We might take a break here and again, but not for very long, if ever, really.
Well, if we're not doing music, we're doing foundation stuff. If we're not doing foundation stuff, we're doing video editing. We're always doing something.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We're always working, and you kind of have to, though.
And now we're doing this shit. So
yeah, and now we're working on a podcast. So, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, I absolutely love working with the guy, and we've been doing it for a very long time together. So it really, we just play really well off of each other's energy. With that said, guys, it's time for the 5 reasons that you need a Jeff. Number 5. Hot chicks. I swear to God, this is true. I have seen this one human being, and I don't know how he does it, but I have literally seen this one human being just stand in a room and hot chicks just come and be where he's at. Like it's weird as hell.
It's charisma.
No, I don't think it's charisma. I think it's because they think you're gay at first, and then you convince them you're not somehow throughout the night.
I'm approachable. They're like, this guy's not going to hit on me.
That's because they don't know you.
Yeah, yeah.
Knowing what I know about you, I wouldn't approach you in a bar or an alley.
Definitely not back in the day.
Well, yeah, that's true. But no, seriously, hot chicks definitely. Jeffrey has always had some beautiful, beautiful people around him. And I don't know if that's a credential, but that's why you got to get one, though, because
it's on my resume. It's on my resume.
Is it? Yes, I bet it is. I bet
it
is. It's probably not the first thing. I get hot chicks. Like, yeah. What do we need to know about you? I'll bring bitches.
Does not have a degree.
Does not have a degree.
No experience, but
hot chicks. Right. You're not wrong, and that's absolutely true. Yeah, Jeff's always surrounded himself with very beautiful people. Number 4. Jeff is a great musician.
Sometimes
he's gonna completely take this to his head. So just watch his face whenever I talk about this one. Jeffrey is one of the best musicians I've ever had the privilege of working with. And the reason for that is because he literally will take time to learn something he doesn't know in order to make himself better. And that's what it takes to be a real musician. Jeff, how many instruments do you play? Drums doesn't count. You dabble in drums. You don't really play the drums.
I dabble. Yeah, I know. I have like a $1,500 drum set sitting over there. I don't know how to play. I can play dun 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 dun.
You can play Phil Collins.
That's it. Only the Phil though.
Oh, just the one?
Yeah, the Phil from Phil. So that's all I can play. I don't know. I've dabbled in everything with strings for the most part, but I mean, I got pianos around. I mean, for the most part,
Jeff has actually progressed quite a bit with the piano over the past year. He's gotten a lot better. I've watched him, just play around with it, and then he watches videos, studies it, and he's actually.
I had to learn because my daughter wanted to learn, so she hears a song, so I have to teach myself the song so that I can teach her. So.
Yeah. It's funny how that works, right? Mm-hmm. Number 3. Genius. Jeffrey is absolutely brilliant, and I will vouch for him 100% of the time. I'll always have his back on this, and I will tell you why. Jeffrey can literally learn anything that he wants to. Jeff, what is it that you've done for the Marine Corps? Just a couple cool things you've done.
I spent 4.5 years teaching recruits how to shoot. I spent 10 years teaching martial arts. I do electrical engineering. I do all kinds of nerdy stuff. I got certifications and all kinds of OSHA safety stuff and all kinds of crazy stuff. I try to learn every day.
Yep. And that's why I put that as number 3 on the list, because Jeffrey is an absolute genius. He comes up with some of the best ideas, and it's really cool how he'll come up with an idea and then it'll just manifest, and then I'll put it together, or I'll come in behind him and make it work somehow.
Or you'll just be standing there and be like, I got this idea. I'll be like, I already know it.
Yeah, that that actually happens more than people probably realize. Because that has happened quite a bit over the course of our friendship, where I'm just like, man, I want to do this right here. And Jeff's like, I was already thinking about it and I already got plans. Look, let me show you what I got.
Already done.
And then I'll be like, whoa, bro, because I already made plans too. And then they'll just match, and it just works, man. That's how the rap album came together. I was like, bro, I want to write a rap album. And you're like, here's 20 beats. See you in 6 months. Like that.
Yeah, well, I think that's 25 years of working with the same person. You kind of just.
I think so. It's got to be, because, I mean, it's got to be like just the chemistry.
Yeah.
Something could be.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Number 2, and this is my favorite one. Brandon is his bestie. That's the best part. It's one of the main reasons you need a Jeff. Because with every Jeff, you're going to get a Brandon. And we're fucking great.
Yep.
Like, I don't like to toot my own horn because I'm a pretty humble guy. But, I am pretty awesome to be around. And I'm pretty.
That's the first thing a humble person says is, I'm pretty awesome to be around.
I'm just saying. I'm humble as hell, but at the same time,
I piss excellence.
Now, I put that one on there just because, that one's actually just about teamwork to me. We do work really well as a team. And when you have a team like us together, things get done. Like, just everything gets done. Number one. The number one reason that you need a Jeff is because of his friendship. That is the best friend I've ever had in my entire life. That guy right there has been with me through the nastiest of the human experience. The most brutal things a human being can go through as a human. This guy has been there with me through, and vice versa as well. And that's what makes the friendship so special. That's what makes it work so well, is that we've been friends for so long, we can read each other's thoughts from 1,000 miles away, and B, just the camaraderie ship and the level of, what's the word I'm looking for? The amount that we have each other's back. Like, we have fought for each other. We've done everything best friends do. And in the process, we've written some pretty great music, I think. And, speaking of some great music, don't we have a clip? Don't we have a clip? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, I think so. Here we go.
I've got yo Joe, Mr. Worldwide, T-Pain. Swing your nuts. Swing your nuts.
Oh, shit, my bad. Hold on. Wrong one.
What the hell was that?
Oh, that's this other thing I'm working on.
What are you drinking right now, bro?
I told you it's squirt and moonshine. I didn't make it, so don't call the police. I'm gonna put some moonshine and some squirt.
Wow. So that's the kind of music you write when you're on moonshine.
Yeah, swing your
No,
nuts.
you know what? That doesn't sound right. That sounds like the kind of music you write when you're on squirt.
Squirt and moonshine, that you just swing your nuts.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. I don't know. There's so much stuff. Like, there's a lot of songs. Like,
I know we have a pretty big portfolio, but I don't know.
yeah, hey, and they're all online.
They are.
Yep, they're
We'll
all
put
online.
links in the description. You can go check them all out. Why don't you play some Exodus?
Okay.
Let's hit people with some of that.
Probably do that.
Just give him a little 20-second clip or something, Jeffrey.
A little 2020.
Little 20 twin.
Them 20s. Nah, they 10s, but I keep them clean.
I do keep them clean now.
Holding this feeling, gotta have meaning, gotta have reason. Steady believing like we've been cheated, double mistreated. Visceral streaming, memory deleted, stopping the bleeding. All of this freedom with no way to react. This is a passage about my past. At last I have it back. I'm back on track. No more attacks. The odds are stacked. The system's cracked. It's time he left.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was a fun song. And what kind of white boys
you
write
remember the hardest thing about writing Exodus? I had to write 11 lines.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Why?
Like,
Because it's written in 6/8?
Exactly, because of how you wrote it in 6/8.
Yeah.
Just the pentameter of the song. I had to write an odd number of lines. I think it's 11. I think it's 11.
Yeah.
11 lines, and then of course you have the the vocal underneath that coming into the next section. But I'm pretty sure it's like 11 lines per stanza, and that was
a good song.
difficult to do. Remember that? It took me like 2.5 months to write that song.
Yeah.
To get it where I wanted to. I was like, all right, man, I've got it. It took me a minute. That song took a while to write.
That's true. And you don't hear rap songs written in 6/8. If you don't know anything about music, 6/8's not for rap.
Bro, you sent me a song. It's in the drive right now. You sent me a song that's in 9/4.
Yeah, that's true. I did.
I was listening to it the other day, and maybe I have a present for you.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Maybe I don't.
I should go hang out with Tool.
Yeah, tell Maynard I said what's up. You won't know who the fuck I am, but
Will do. Well.
So hey, man, you guys go check out A Dying Art.
Hold on. I got 5 too. I got 5 too.
What? What do you mean?
I got 5 reasons why you need a Brandon.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I didn't plan it out, but
Did you just hijack my show?
I scribbled some shit. So I got my
scribbled some shit.
monitor. Yeah, I guess I got my cool monitor I can draw on. So, number 5. He's a poet. He's a lyrical genius. He is the white Eminem. So, I can write music all damn day. I can't write lyrics to save my life. It all comes. I have the thesaurus app just to try to find words that rhyme and sound the same and do all kinds of stuff and cool words. So he writes every lyric you've ever heard from any of these bands and his stuff. He writes them all. So it's pretty impressive what he does. And he should be a ghostwriter. So if you know Taylor Swift's cell phone number, he'll write her a song about heartbreak. Or boys. I don't know. Whatever he's into that day. Okay. All right. Number 4.
Did you just call me gay inconspicuously on the air?
No, I just said you'll write a song for her.
He can write songs about boys. He's good at it. Got a lot of
Number
experience.
4. Number 4. He has no problems pulling a 4. So I mean, he's always got good looking women around him too. But you know what? I've jumped on some grenades for you too. So I guess
not wrong.
we share that number 4. So it's all right.
We do. We absolutely do. You're not wrong. I have. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, hey, call me when this is over.
All right. All right.
We need to talk about that one a little more.
That's true. No, that's PTSD right there. I've blocked that. All right, number 3 is because
Bro,
I don't have it.
hey, you had 3 letters right. STD. But you put them in the wrong order.
Oh, they were all curable. So they don't count.
Oh, okay. That's okay. So
I don't have any.
CTSDs,
I don't
or
have any right
CSTDs.
now. Right now. So.
Oh, you don't have it now.
No.
But maybe later.
Man, well, who knows?
Huh?
Call me.
Call me.
All right, number 3
Number 3.
for Brandon. He has great hair. The one thing I've always been envious of is he has great hair. Go watch the Entertainment video, and you will see some great hair. This guy shaved off a 3-year-old mohawk that was beautiful just for a music video. So it's pretty impressive when he's got his hair grown out, but he's all like gentlemanly or something now. So
I'm actually waiting for it to grow out enough to actually cut the mohawk. I'm bringing it back, and if you heard it first here. You heard it first right here. Thanks for that compliment, Jeffrey. That makes me feel really good. I am actually bringing the long hair back. I'm not going to cut it again. I'm going to do the mohawk. It's going to be, yeah. Beacon's on his way back to the long hair, but I did cut it. There were 2 reasons. The number 1 reason was for the music video because I wanted to show that differential.
yeah.
But the other reason was for the One Note Hope Foundation. I also knew I had, commercials and videos coming up. Now I'm just working on art. So yeah, man, I appreciate that one, man. That makes me feel good. Thanks.
Oh yeah, I love your hair. All right, number deuce is music. All right, so the amount of work that we can get done while we're hanging out in a room together or a room 1,000 miles apart is incredible. If anybody ever gets a chance to hang out with us while we're doing what we do, it'll blow your mind. His fiance had to sleep for like 4 days straight because of how much work we were putting in. Like we were putting her ass to work. We were working our asses off. We wrote an album
So what Jeffrey's talking about is whenever I went to LA, I got up at 4:30 in the morning.
After drinking till 3:30
After drinking until 3:30 in the morning, got up at 4:30 in the morning and wrote a song that we have called Rock, Paper, Scissors.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. It was sloppy and it was an idea, but I wrote that song before Jeffrey even knew that we were both still alive. He thought we died the night before. We drank so much, and I only got like an hour of sleep and got up. Well, it was weird, man. I think I told you, and maybe I'll tell them. So that was actually a weird story because I went to sleep. I didn't go to sleep. I passed the fuck out is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I passed out, but I had this dream. And my dad had given me this idea of like this whole idea of the game rock, paper, scissors, right?
Yep.
And I was like, wow, I really like that concept. So I was thinking about it in my sleep. I know that sounds weird, but I was. And then I was like, oh, hold up. I think I got something. So I woke up and then I went to the studio and turned on all the shit in the house and was really loud for like, because I turned up. I was like, I'm going to write this song. And
Right.
I think probably, what time was it? Probably like 6:30, 7 o'clock you finally got up.
Yeah.
Because you were like, man, what are you doing? And I was like, no, shut up, listen. And you were like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, everybody's probably, oh, yeah, okay, they drink hard one night. We drank hard for 13 days straight.
And then I wrote that song.
Yeah, and then, yeah, we wrote a whole album. There was another time we wrote an album in 2003, I think.
Oh, wow.
We wrote we
Wow.
wrote like a 10 song album.
It was a 10-song album.
We wrote everything in 2.5 days ish, over about 60 beers between the three of us, or two of us.
No, it was way more than that. No, we had 230 racks and a bottle.
Oh geez. Yeah, so it was
oh, where is that music? We have it.
Yeah, I have it all. I have
You
everything.
send it to me. Yeah, you and I need to sit down and go through that and actually have a good listen.
Yeah,
We might do that. We might do that after the show's over. That'd be cool to sit around, have a couple beers, and reminisce.
And maybe we'll release it one day. Who knows? We'll see.
Maybe we'll redo them all. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like
Who knows?
we're redoing all kinds of stuff now. We have a lot of stuff in the works, guys.
Yeah.
I've been in the studio for 2 weeks straight now, every day, 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day in the studio, working on everything that I can. So we have a lot coming up, and I'm really excited about it. Jeffrey, what was your number one?
All right. Number one is something everybody has to have. No matter what. I've learned this in my 26 years, 22 years of being on this earth. Yeah, because I'm not that old.
This guy's an idiot.
You got to have a ride or die, no matter what. You got to have that one person that no matter what, you can call them. Yep, he has saved my life, like probably at least 3 times. Like literally saved my life. So you got to have a ride or die. If you don't have one,
You know what? Hey, can I
find
change one of mine? Can I change one of mine?
I guess.
I want to take out Genius and put Friendship in Genius's place at number 3, and I want to put Ride or Die as number 1.
You could be an idiot, but as long as you're my ride or die idiot, we good.
Well, I mean, but because if we're being honest, you've saved mine a couple times too. Don't sound so humble over here. I mean, yes, and absolutely, and we would do it again.
Yeah.
If I ever need to bury a body, you'll get on a plane and come bury a body with me. I know that.
That's true. I got some Amex
Not
points.
that, hey, not that Beacon condones any type of violence, or I would never have a body to bury. I'm a very peaceful creature, but
We'll put an asterisk at the bottom of the video. We do not condone violence.
we do not condone violence. We're gonna have to now because
Yep.
you know how this shit works.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I absolutely agree with that. That one almost made me tear up a little bit. But Beacon doesn't cry. That's absolutely not true. I was crying just the other day, actually.
And if you keep listening and following, you're gonna hear some stuff coming out of the Formula 44 days, the days that we were telling you about, that what not to do as a rock star. So you keep listening.
We have 25 years of experience to share with you guys. And not only that, but we're going to bring you local musicians. In fact, just since this podcast started, I have actually gotten in touch with a couple bands. I am not going to release their names to you just yet. However, I promise you are going to want to tune in to some of the special things we're going to be doing with the local music scene around Oklahoma City. I know Jeffrey is in Yuma, and he helps produce this whole thing, and he helps me keep it together. He's going to be the one doing the interviews and everything. But really, I like coming from your perspective because I know the local scene. You don't. So you can ask real questions, and we can really dig into the local music scene around Oklahoma City and try to get it on the map, man. There's a lot of great music here. There's a lot of great people here, and I can't wait to, in the future, be able to be a part of that. So I'm really looking forward to it. With that said, thank you guys in A Dying Art. We can't wait to, get to contact you guys more and get to communicate with you more. Maybe bring them on the show. I don't know.
Hey, if you know anybody, or if you're somebody watching this show that would like to come in here and talk to us.
Yeah, and we are always open. If you, hey, comment your band name, put it right there in the description. Just in the comments, just comment who you are. Give us a link. Give us some contact info. We'll contact you. We are all about spreading the word of music. We do this because we love it. We don't make anything off this. We just want to have a good time, throw a couple back maybe.
I'm going to put some moonshine and some squirt.
And just kind of talk to you guys about music and see what you guys think. So any questions you got, put them in the comments. We'll address them next episode. Any band links, if you got a favorite band that's local in your area and you want to talk about them, we're more than happy to do interviews or do any kind of promotion for them. Like I said, we're in this for the long haul. So with that said, guys, thank you so much. Thank you to the One Note Hope Foundation. Thank you, Jeffrey Johnson, for your time. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you guys in a week. The very next episode we're going to do is going to be really, really cool. we're hoping to start a section called Jeff West.
I've got these rocks in my pocket.
Peace out,
made out the
guys.
stones that you taught with. Constant
Later.
These profits filled in your hand with this nonsense. I promise. I swear to all of your gods that I'm on it. I'm